Dante Williams, and you watching
Dante's
Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation. Dante's Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So I'm sure you guys have already heard by now, and if you haven't, Sergey Kovalev and Andre Ward, they just signed a new 3-fight deal with HBO, and the plan is for Ward and Sergey Kovalev to face off in the third fight. This fight is going to be huge, but it's going to be huge in many different ways. Because see, unlike a Cotto versus Canelo type of fight, that's a huge fight in terms of entertainment, you know, the Puerto Rico versus Mexico rivalry. But this Ward versus Kovalev fight is far more significant because of the fact that this will solidify who the best fighter in the world is pound for pound. We already know that Andre Ward is pound for pound the best fighter in the world right now. But if he beats Kovalev, then even some of the biggest Andre Ward detractors would be forced to concede and admit that Andre Ward is the best fighter pound for pound, hands down. Because we already know if Kovalev wins, they'll throw him up there in a heartbeat, right? And speaking of Kovalev winning, Golovkin's trainer Abel Sanchez, he just recently said that he believes Sergey Kovalev will defeat the pound-for-pound king, Andre Ward. Matter of fact, here's what Sanchez had to say. Quote, "I think Kovalev beats him. After the Super 6, when Andre Ward was busy, was active, and was sharp, then I could say it's a good fight. At this point, Kovalev is just on a roll and active, and Andre is sitting back, waiting for something to happen. Waiting for someone to knock on the door and say, here's a whole lot of money to fight. When you fought only twice in 4 years, what will Kovalev do to Paul Smith?" End quote. Now, and I want to respond to every single thing Abel Sanchez said in that little piece right there. The first thing I want to say, though, is when I first seen the headline, Abel Sanchez picking Kovalev to beat Andre Ward, I'm thinking with the experience that Abel Sanchez has, you know how long he's been training fighters, etc., etc., I'm expecting to hear something very analytical from him, from a boxing point of view, right? I'm expecting him to go into detail. The first thing I'm thinking is, even though I don't believe Kovalev will beat Andre Ward, I'm expecting something at least fairly logical, right? Maybe he says something like, you know, with Kovalev's reach and his boxing ability, you know, his boxing skills are underrated, etc., etc. I'm expecting something on the lines of that. Not some vague, casual fan type of stuff. You know, talking about things that really have nothing to do with boxing. Like, oh, you know, he's just sitting around waiting for someone to just give him a whole lot of money, and, you know, talking about him being inactive when he's already fighting twice this year. Matter of fact, Andre Ward is going to have 3 fights under his belt back to back to back before he gets in the ring with Sergey Kovalev. So it doesn't make any sense. The inactive excuse doesn't make any sense. I would expect that kind of talk from decafs, dumb casual ass fans. I would not expect that kind of talk from trainer Abel Sanchez. You see, this is why I respect fighters and trainers like Paulie Malignaggi, Teddy Atlas, Virgil Hunter, Joel Diaz, because these type of trainers and fighters, they will give you a logical, analytical breakdown from the perspective of a professional boxer/trainer. This is not what we got from trainer Abel Sanchez. Now, when it comes to Sanchez saying that Andre Ward is just sitting around, just waiting for someone to hand him some big bag of money, basically, My question is, what is Gennady Golovkin doing different than Andre Ward right now? Isn't Gennady Golovkin waiting around for the Cotto versus Canelo fight? Hasn't he been doing that for the last year or so? Didn't he refuse to fight the best fighter in the world pound for pound, Andre Ward, after he said that he was willing to move up to 168 and fight Carl Froch and fight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.? And when the boxing world asked him, why would you say you're willing to move up to 168, fight these guys, but you have to fight Ward at 164? And their answer was, because they can make more money, or they believe they would make more money fighting against Carl Froch or Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. You know, I actually hung out with Abel Sanchez, Gennady Golovkin, and Sullivan Barrera at Abel Sanchez's cabin in Big Bear. You know, did a lot of coverage on Golovkin, and we talked the whole day. I remember every time we talked about Andre Ward, Golovkin, and Guillermo Rigo, he would always talk about money, 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 and excitement and what the fans want versus who the best is. So eventually I asked him the question. I said, Abel, let me ask you this. Would you rather be considered pound for pound the best fighter in the world universally? Or would you rather just have the money and the fame, just be considered the most popular, the most liked in the sport? And he chose option B. Okay? He would rather have the money and the fame, the popularity. Coincidentally, Freddie Roach, he answered the question the exact same way. He chose option B as well when I asked him that question. So to accuse Andre Ward of just sitting around waiting for someone to just hand him a whole lot of money, that statement has no merit. It has none. Abel Sanchez also said in an interview I did with him that Willie Monroe is a bigger star than Erislandy Lara, and that's the reason why they are not going to fight Erislandy Lara. When you hear Abel Sanchez say something like that, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like they are protecting Gennady Golovkin. They want to keep him winning by any means necessary so that they can wait around and have someone offer them a whole lot of money against a big name like Canelo versus Cotto. Winner, right? Abel Sanchez made another comment previously where he accused Andre Ward of just trying to remain relevant in the sport of boxing. What fighter doesn't try to remain relevant? Do you know any fighters aiming to be irrelevant? Once again, why do you guys think Golovkin wants to fight Cotto versus Canelo winner? Why did Golovkin want to fight Floyd Mayweather? Because that would solidify his relevance in the sport. Last thing I want to talk about is Abel Sanchez basing his prediction on Andre Ward being quote unquote inactive. This inactive thing is just ridiculous to me. It is completely ridiculous. Once again, Andre Ward is now active. He is no longer inactive, right? If a fucking store is open today, you don't tell people the store is closed because before today it was closed for 6 months. No, they're open for business right now. Andre Ward is open for business. And we can't even really talk about ring rust because once again, Andre Ward is active right now. He's about to have his second fight next month. He just had a fight before that in June. And when he fought Paul Smith, we didn't even see any ring rust. So if there was no ring rust in that fight, why would there be ring rust after Andre Ward fights 3 times in a row before he fights against Sergey Kovalev? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video right now, but I'll be talking a lot more about this whole Andre Ward, Sergey Kovalev, and Gennady Golovkin circle. That's all I got. I'm on to the next one.